Okay, so you've released your first album, name of the album. Tell me a little bit about that.
Sure. It's called Wayward Sound Floats the Streets. It's our first album. We're very excited to get it out there. We've done a number of kind of smaller recordings here and there, but we've never put together a whole project like this, particularly of this size and scope. And so we've been working on it really since probably in fall of 2008. Here and there, we decided about September that we wanted to put one together, and so we started writing songs and started recording in January. And it's been a 5-month journey since then of recording and putting together the project, because we're releasing a short graphic novel along with the album, and they kind of go hand in hand together. And so between the recording and just putting together the book and kind of coordinating everything and promoting, it's been a long journey, but we're glad to finally be here tonight at the Double Door and getting it out and seeing what people think.
Okay. In regards to touring, how are you guys going to be supporting the album?
Yeah, I mean, we were really, we'll be playing all over. And this summer is probably where we plan on concentrating a little bit more on being more mobile. Because up to this point, we've been focused a lot more on Chicago, except for one-off shows here and there, getting out to Northwest Indiana. We've been to Indianapolis a couple of times and kind of in some nearby areas, but probably concentrating a little bit more, especially now that we do have this album out. We've got something to support and to get out there. Probably playing a little more regularly outside of this immediate area.
Yeah. Maybe like Nova Scotia.
Yeah, we're thinking about maybe. Sure, the upper reaches. We need to hit the Arctic Ocean.
Well, actually, we got a lot of readers from Europe, Germany, and some of those areas. So, if there's any chance that you guys are going there, I'm sure they'll be interested in seeing you.
You never know. We launched. There's a special album website that we have out there, www.waywardsound.com, and Jonathan's been running numbers of hits and where they're coming from, and it's fun to look at that sort of thing to see. How you have people from the most random reaches, really, of
We're huge in the Russian Federation.
Well, it's, the internet, really. It's a smaller world. You can reach bands from all over the globe that you wouldn't have access to otherwise.
Right. Okay, that's cool. With the novel, it's kind of a different concept. What led to that? As far as pairing a disc with a novel, it's rather different.
Well, it's kind of, a lot of people in Chicago, a lot of bands all over, they release their album, and there's so many of those going on. How do you stick out from the crowd? So we wanted to do something a little different, not only to kind of set the album apart and from kind of the rest of the pack, but also, Jason Hissong, who was the writer of the album, has been a good of the graphic novel, has been a good friend of ours for years, and we knew we had a talented person who could do that and handle it right there, ready to go. So it just seemed like the natural step.
We wanted to come up with something that had substance, not just something that's just a marketing ploy.
Right.
And I think that we've accomplished that through Jason's writing and through the artwork, which is by Brian Defferty of Def Jeans Comics, and we're really proud of it. So hopefully it's a companion. It touches on the observational themes of the music, and if Jason wants to speak to that, I'll leave that to him. But we're really proud of it. So hopefully
it stands on its own. It's not just a complimentary project. It really grew into its own thing.
Okay. Now, Jason, you're the writer, the artist for the novel.
Correct.
Is that something that you've done before? Is this kind of a one-off? Is this a first-time thing?
I've always dabbled a little bit. This is my first published work in the form and the genre. And these guys came to me last fall and they're like, hey, we want to do this. And for me, it was a no-brainer. It was, okay, for me to do this, I'm going to do it because these guys are four of my best friends. So, and what I was confident in is sitting down, listening to their tracks that they recorded that I've heard and seen so many times live. It's just kind of born out of this, my own interpretation of those tracks. And I think what really surprised me and what really surprised them is just how I was able to take that into my own vision. And then when we got our artist on board, how he was able to really pick out my brain and make my vision come to life.
Okay.
Very seamless.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Okay. Now also tell me about the Chicago Noise Machine.
Sure. Yeah. The Chicago Noise Machine is a collaboration between 9 Chicago bands. We wanted to get together to support each other, share resources, and Chicago's got an incredible number of musicians and talented bands and fantastic venues, but really everything's kind of spread out. the scene is a little bit disjointed right now, and that's something that we wanted to kind of start working towards repairing, building a cohesive scene. And,
Identifiable.
yeah, very much so, and it's been exciting and it's new, uncharted territory. We launched last November at the Cubby Bear, and we sold that out, and we were very pleased. And this June 13th, we're having the I Am Fest, which is Independent Arts and Music Festival, and we are putting that on as artists all by ourselves, doing all the work. It's at the Congress Theater, so it's a pretty big jump from the Cubby Bear to the Congress. It's a huge venue, so we're excited and a little bit scared, and all those things rolled into one. So,
Okay. As far as who's part of the this coalition?
great question. Sorry, I should have mentioned that. It's a Birdsong Valentine, 72 Hours, Heavy the Fall, Echo Sun, Lucid Ground,
Bullet Called Life.
Bullet Called Life, Simplistic Urge,
Reverie.
Reverie, and then ourselves.
Okay. And there is a website for the
Yes.
Chicago Noise Machine, which is?
You can go to chicagonoisemachine.com. We have a MySpace you can connect through that website. We also have IamFest.com,
Okay.
which you can reach directly for some information for the upcoming
Which is a nice
festival.
site. There's a
It's
lot of great
gorgeous, yeah.
information on there.
All of the bands, we're having 25 local artists. Everything's local. All the sponsors are local. So 25 musicians, and then we're also having artists from various mediums, from photo to video, paintings, everything like that. So it's really a celebration of
All
things,
homegrown.
all arts in Chicago.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. Very cool. Anything else in closing?
Anything else?
Let's rock out.
Yeah, www.algrenmusic.com. You can hook up through our MySpace and Facebook and everything else on there.
Yep, you'll be able to find the album and the companion graphic novel. We're selling them together as a package deal, and you'll be able to find them at any of our shows, or you can go to waywardsound.com in order to find online purchasing information. We'll have it where you can both buy the physical copy of it as well as where you'll be able to buy it just digitally if you're more of an MP3 type person. So
It'll
you'll
go
be
on
able to find
iTunes,
both.
Amazon, CD
Yeah,
Baby,
all
of
the
those.
big hitters.
Okay. Well, very cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.